All right, good afternoon, everybody. We are live, and we're going to be talking today about a ton of cool stuff. But basically, this is the big season two, week four upgrade. Season two, week four update for the Poker League. So hopefully, everybody can hear me. If not, that's going to be a big problem. But let me just do a quick test here and make sure everything is working as expected and that everybody can hear. So, can people hear me? All right. This is going to be a slight issue. All right. Nope. All right. No, people can hear me. So everything's working. All right. So we're good to go. So welcome to the update for season two, week four of the BrokeFish League. I am Matt. I help run the league along with the chairman, Mr. Joe Murphy. He is here actually watching this live right now, along with the great professional wrestler, Joe Hendry, who is going to actually be potentially our special guest. And see Mr. Hendry here. He wants to get on the stream, and we can make that happen because we know that they love him in a lot of places: London, Paris, Tokyo, America, Scotland, Canada, and even Mexico. Now, apparently, our friends over in Australia, maybe they don't love him so much, but when he wins the world title, they'll have to respect him and they will start to believe in Joe Hendry. So, Brokefish, by the way, wanting to know if we're going to talk about The Bachelor. And while it would not be a league update if we didn't somehow get into The Bachelor, which is a great television show. But, first, I just want to wish everybody a very happy Washington's birthday, right? So, Washington's birthday is a holiday here in the United States. It's a federal holiday. It recognizes the first president of the United States, that is George Washington. Washington was, of course, a general in the Continental Army, helped fight against the British in the Revolutionary War to bring independence to the United States of America and get this country to be on its own, where we wouldn't be taxed by the King of England. Our tea wouldn't cost a ridiculous amount. And, we've had many presidents over the years. There's some great ones: Teddy Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln, who freed all of the slaves. We've even got some great ones. And by the way, my favorite president, we want to talk about him, Ronald Wilson Reagan. Now, Mr. Reagan was born in Tampico, Illinois, and he was one of the greatest leaders of the 20th century. Under Mr. Reagan, we saw the Cold War come to an end. The communists were defeated, and America stood strong. And that was one of the great things that we really love about President Reagan. And today, this country is blessed because we have President Donald J. Trump in charge. And under President Trump, he has promised so much prosperity that people that are playing poker in the micro stakes, they are probably going to be able to move all the way up to like a 5-10 game. So you could be playing like 10 cent, 20 cent right now. But thanks to President Trump, you'll be making so much money and have so much prosperity that you'll be able to afford to buy in for $1,000 instead of like, I don't know, what's the 10-20 buy-in is like what, $10. And Joe Hendry, apparently a supporter of President Donald J. Trump. Also, President Trump is going to bring down the price of gasoline, so you'll be able to afford to drive to the poker room more than once a week because it's not going to cost you $50 to fill your car up with gasoline. So, happy Washington's birthday, aka President's Day, even though that's not really the name of the holiday. People just call it that for some reason. And we'll move on to, by the way, some big news coming up tonight. There will be prizes unveiled, right? So a lot of people who played in the league are looking forward to seeing what the prizes were. But before we get to that, we'll of course be talking about The Bachelor. And The Bachelor is a great television show. But before we get to that, we'll be talking about poker news and happenings. Miami John Cernuda, we talked about last week. He was very sick. He was on hospice. He unfortunately did pass away. He has the record for the largest number of cashes in poker. So he's won tons of WSOP events. He's he's cashed tons of WSOP events. He's cashed in WPT all over the place. And if you were to look him up on Global Poker Index or the infamous Hendon Mob, you'll be able to see all of that. Great guy, great person to have in the poker community, but unfortunately, he has passed away. In other poker news coming up, right? So Thailand, which is a country in Asia, They are considering having, so, today they don't have any full service casinos. They don't have true casino resorts. People sort of just play poker in like random poker rooms that pop up. They're looking to come in with basically full casino gaming that would include poker and other games, things like blackjack, roulette, etc. But the government is looking like it may only allow 10% of the space at its potential future casino resorts to actually be dedicated to gaming. And that means that poker would probably be included in that 10% of the space, and that could really hinder the game there. Now, the reason they're doing this is that they don't want to just have like gambling halls. They don't just want these places where, people are going to come and they're just going to like go play gambling. They want like full on resorts that have things like convention space, retail shopping, fine dining, etc. They want to utilize it as a essentially a draw for tourists that are there for more than just gaming, right? This is sort of like the transformation Las Vegas went through, where it went from being just, a gambling place to being basically a place where you've got a lot of business, you've got a lot of conventions, you've got tons of non-gaming entertainment, to the point where these big companies in the casino business, MGM Resorts, for example, they make actually a majority of their money off of non-gaming revenue. Thailand, by the way, according to BrokeFish, historically bad for poker because they don't have it. It's legal and they bust underground games there. I have heard about that one. And apparently, people want me to go to Thailand. So, which maybe they're afraid that if I stay here in America, I'll win a lot of money at poker here. And they want me to do that. By the way, Cult Friction Action, why this thing started early. Apparently, people were demanding we go early because they could not wait to find out what we were going to talk about today in terms of the updates on reality television dating shows, and also to reveal the prizes. Um, so, as we continue on to that, so, future of Thailand's gaming, maybe limiting for poker, given the 10% cap the government's looking at. But in other big news, Ali Imsirovic, and I'm probably pronouncing this guy's last name really badly, but who cares because he sucks. And then the reason he sucks is that he apparently cheated at poker. Well, this weekend he showed up to a live poker tournament in Texas. He showed up to Champions Club. They were running a $1 million guarantee, and he did not last very long because they apparently disqualified him and threw him out of the place. Now the story here goes that the reason they did that is that they want to say that they're not going to allow cheaters to play there. It's a little bit controversial in the sense that what this guy did was, dishonorable conduct, right? Apparently he like was colluding and cheating in online poker, but he never actually got caught cheating in live poker, and there's no evidence of that. Um, so it's a little bit interesting, wondering what people think, right? Should this guy have been thrown out, or should we keep live poker sort of separate? Like, I kind of use the analogy that, maybe it should be separate, right? If like a football player in the NFL cheats at Madden, they have their PlayStation and they're freaking hack it so that they don't get intercepted in Madden. Are we going to throw them out of football for that? Probably not. So then, oh, look at this. So we've got Cult Friction saying Thailand isn't exactly a free country. And he's right. Thailand is a monarchy, right? So all of the power there is basically held by the king, right? Whereas in like the United States, the power is with the people. We have freedom and democracy. In Thailand, the king is essentially in charge, which can actually be efficient, right? Because like if the king one day is like, you know what, I don't like people committing like, I don't know, armed robbery. I want to change the penalty from armed robbery. Instead of being like 10 years in jail, it's going to be 20. The king can just decree it. Whereas like in the United States, we'd actually have to like pass that through like Congress and stuff like that. Um, so that's kind of how that works. And so, yeah, you know what? I don't believe in Ali, right? I think he's a bad guy, but I will tell you this. I do believe in Joe Hendry until he faces John Cena, because when he faces John Cena, he's losing. John Cena is the man, and Joe Hendry really doesn't stand a chance against him. But now, hey, let's talk about The Bachelor. So, as everybody knows, Grant Ellis is The Bachelor this season. Episode 4 is tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And this week, Grant and the 10 remaining women head off to Madrid, Spain. Now, I've been to Spain. It's a nice place. They speak Spanish there. So if you know Spanish, you have an advantage there. But there's going to be bull riding, and there's going to be an unexpected departure. So that seems to indicate one of the ladies is going to bounce out. Maybe they don't feel a connection with Grant. Maybe some sort of family thing came up. This has happened before on The Bachelor. And wow, people are saying Cena is mid. I don't know about that. I think John Cena is the man. So let's see here. And then, RVD. Now that's a guy you haven't said. RVD, Rob Van Dam, right? Another great wrestler. Eddie Guerrero, another great wrestler. We should actually do an entire live stream where we just talk about wrestling. So, screw poker, right? Wrestling is where it's at. Like we talk about Joe Hendry, we can talk about the great Stone Cold Steve Austin, or whoever else we might want to discuss. So, continuing on though, so the Bachelor tonight, right? The remaining 10 women, they go to Spain. I think there are going to be, in addition to the unexpected departure, typical rose ceremony. We're trying to whittle this thing down to 4 ladies that are going to end up going on the hometown dates with Grant. That's where he meets all their families, sees all their hometowns. And I still believe, and actually, there's one guy in the BrokeFish forum that still believes this, that Juliana, who is from New England, right? She's from place in Massachusetts, just west of Boston. I still think she's making the Final Four, and I think she probably makes the overnight dates as well. So we've got, let's see here. Oh, wow. Somebody once set up a home audio system for John Cena's dad. That looks fun. And apparently somebody worked at Radio Shack when John Cena was nearby. So, or John Cena came in. That would be pretty awesome meeting John Cena at Radio Shack. I met Rob Gronkowski once at Mohegan Sun. Was headed to the poker room and just kind of crossed paths with him. Cool guy. So on to what everybody's probably been waiting for. Wait, no, sorry. It was the last segment that everybody was waiting for because everybody was waiting for the Bachelor update. Now we can go on to season 2 update for the Poker League. So just to recap how this all works. So we have the top 3 people getting prizes each week. And then at the end of the month, every month, we're going to have the top 10 people for the month getting prizes. In addition to that, the overall league winners are going to get more prizes, and anyone who scores a point gets a free trading card featuring Stu Unger. I've sent out dozens of these trading cards to people, so there are plenty to send out. If we run out of these cards because so many people join the league and play prizes, we'll figure out some sort of other prize to give away. But there are plenty of cards to still, get out there. So don't worry about missing out on the opportunity to get a card if you're not in the league yet. So let's see. Apparently everybody's waiting for. Whoop, that was the wrong one. Everybody's waiting for Joe Hendry, and you know why? It's because they believe in Joe Hendry. So also just to remind everybody, how do you earn points? Win any satellite, cash any tournament, or win 100 big blinds in the BrokeFish social games. So the winners for week 3 were, in first place, Mambo Man. I'm sorry, this is week 4. And this is what happens when you type in the wrong number. Everybody's going to think you're an idiot. They're going to be like, this guy sucks. He shouldn't run the stream for giving away the prizes anymore because he can't even put the correct number on. So, here we go. So, basically, and this is bad. I have technical issues going on right now. All right, fix the technical issues. There we go. All right, so Mambo Man, week 4, the winner by far. Nobody could come close to this guy. Like, he has 262 points in the league. Mo Punter, who got second place, has 62 points. He blew him away by 200 points. So basically, some of you got to work on your poker skills and you got to figure out how to win more. Because if you don't figure out how to win more, Mambo Man's just going to keep winning week after week after week. He's going to win more prizes than anyone else. He's going to be richer than anybody else. He's going to be more skilled, recognized as more skilled than anyone else, because nobody seems to be able to win more poker tournaments than him. Like, literally, like, the guy fires at tournaments. He cashes them left and right. He's winning, and nobody else can figure out how to do it. So maybe what really should happen is we should have a live stream where Mambo Man does like a seminar on how to play decent poker and tells everybody like the keys to have, success and the keys to winning the league, because he keeps winning. He actually is the winner of season 1, which had a different structure in terms of the prizes. And he's been the winner 4 weeks in a row. And as we go into week 5, there's a good chance he's going to win again unless people can really step it up. So moving on to the prize reveal. So this is our current prize grid. This is basically after everything was given away for weeks 1, 2, and 3. As you can see here, we've had a full set of trading cards that already got awarded. We've had some satellite tickets. We've even had cash game credits. And now we're getting into, who's going to be what are people going to win who won here? So again, first place, that was Mambo Man, and Mambo Man picked squares A2 and A3. And if we reveal that, that is an $11 tournament ticket, which is just amazing for everybody else in the league because now he's going to have a free chance to fire at a tournament and earn more points, which is just going to make it more difficult for anybody else to try to beat him. And he gets a standard BrokeFish trading card. So that is amazing. And let's see. And look at James Ross says he is a beast. He's got my respect. And let's see. Poker Life Industry says, we wanted him to join the stream tonight, maybe next week. And unfortunately, looks like he's had a friend of his who passed away. So condolences go out to Mambo Man on that. It's unfortunate whenever you have a good friend or family member that dies. So that's some sad news. And then we'll head on to our second place reveal. So Mo Hunter took second place. He picked square G as in gecko 1. And what does he get? A BrokeFish trading card. So congratulations to Mo Hunter. Please message me with your trading card. Poker Life Industries, you're wrong. So, in terms of Joe Hendry, they actually love him in 4 different cities. London, there are 3 cities, London, Paris, and Tokyo, and 4 countries. So America, Scotland, Canada, and Mexico. Now, for some reason in Ireland, Germany, Denmark, Russia, Australia, Singapore, Greater China, and India, as well as the countries of South Africa, Nigeria, and Rwanda, they don't love Joe Hendry. And I'm not sure why that's the case. Does anyone know? Why do they not love this guy in the rest of the world? Right? It's like 4 countries, 3 cities. He's only really got he's got a couple important countries like the United States of America, obviously, but it's unclear why. Also, apparently Mo Hunter is a sputard whale. I don't know about that. He seemed pretty skilled. He came in second place. I mean, he's not as good as Mambo Man, but if he's got second place, then he's got to be obviously better than everybody else except for Mambo Man. So let's see here. Moving on to revealing who wins for third place, right? So third place was Mr. Gooch, and he picked square A4. So when we reveal A4, that is a $20 credit to the BrokeFish Social cash game, which once again, the people who keep winning these prizes are winning prizes that are going to let them earn even more points, because if he turns that $20 credit into let's say he fires and he wins 600 big blinds, it's going to be 600, or no, not 600, sorry. It's going to be 600 big blinds would be 6 more points in the league, right? Because for every 100 big blinds you profit, you get a point, and that would end up happening. And before we wrap up, by the way, anyone have any questions? And just also remember, you can earn more league points tonight in BrokeFish Social. You can play on CCC. There's plenty of tournaments, 100K guarantees running this week, I think. And let's see. Do we have any questions? Any questions? So, well, we do have people complaining about this Paolino guy, which not surprising. A lot of people complain about him. Let's see here. Oh, yes. People want to talk about Bachelor predictions. So again, I think Juliana is going to be the one that gets there in the end. Now, whether Grant and her end up getting engaged and married is a different story. I think that, they may have that. And, Joe Hendry, we'll try to get him in here next week. Maybe we'll have a big stream next week. We'll get Joe Hendry, and we'll try to see if I can get The Rock. Because that would be pretty good. Oh, who's getting roses tonight? So, it's a hard question to say. So, I think that tonight on The Bachelor, if they even have a rose ceremony on the episode, sometimes you get these episodes where there is no episode, or there is no rose ceremony. But, I do think that in terms of what we're going to see with this rose ceremony, I feel like Latia and Dina could be 2 of the people that get eliminated, right? So it's going to be basically six women moving on. Or well, it could actually be. No, I think it's 8 women are going to move on, but it may actually be at the rose ceremony that if there's an early elimination, instead of having 2 people get eliminated there, they may only have one person get eliminated, right? So that could happen. We're obviously going to have to watch tonight's episode and see how that goes. Let's see. Do you think Grant is more likely Long or Girthy? Which girl do you think cares most? Um, yeah, I have no comment on that. We'll have to bring on Joe Hendry next week to address that question. So, all right. Let's see. Oh, James Ross. He's saying that you can hit and run for $20 on stream. Yes, you. So actually, turns out you can't hit and run in the poker club, and the reason for that is there's something called call timer on. This is a feature to basically curb hitting and running. It means that if you go up 100 big blinds, you have to stay at the table for another half hour. So like you can't just like win a big pot and then decide like you're quitting and like nobody can get a chance to win the money back. Now, in some cases, that's bad for a player, right? Because if they're going to be, let's say they had 200 big blinds and they like triple up, now they have 600. They're being forced to continue playing with very high reverse implied odds. And as everybody knows from the reverse implied odds seminar that I gave, when your stack is larger, you stand the ability to lose more money, right? So if you only have 50 big blinds in your stack, you can only lose 50 big blinds. But if you have like 400 big blinds in your stack, then you could lose 8 times as much and lose 400 big blinds. So that's one of the risks. Of course, this is only if somebody has you covered. So if like you have 400 big blinds and the biggest stack at the table is 200 big blinds, well, then you can only lose 200 big blinds, which helps curb your reverse implied odds in that sense. But again, this was all covered in the reverse implied odds seminar. All right. So any final questions before we wrap up? We got one guy saying Chuck Woolley and Roger Loge are better than whoever Bachelor hosts. So the Bachelor is hosted by Jesse Palmer. He used to work as a college football analyst for ESPN prior to taking on that role. He came in to basically replace Chris Harrison. Now, Chris Harrison was a longtime host of The Bachelor, loved by Bachelor Nation, and he was unfortunately forced out because he, basically defended a young woman, and people got mad at him for that, and they demanded he be canceled. And this was when we were at the peak of cancel culture. Joe Biden was the president, and so Chris Harrison no longer the host of The Bachelor, and we ended up with Jesse Palmer. And I still think that basically overly woke ideology and cancel culture hurt that show, and there was really no reason to get rid of him. Oh, that's right. There was also the Bengals third string quarterback and emergency QB. By the way, another great quarterback who never really got to kind of shine in the NFL, the great Tim Tebow. And I think, if Tim Tebow had been, when the Patriots signed him, had they kept him there and made him the starting QB after Tom Brady, they'd be in a much better position. Tim Tebow was a good Christian. He helped a lot of people out, great charity work out of him. He actually tried to help Aaron Hernandez out. And again, that whole mess might not have happened had Hernandez listened to Tebow and, lived out a good Christian lifestyle instead of murdering people. Then the whole, him going to the penitentiary and bumping himself off in there, which, by the way, that's another controversy, right? Some people think he was murdered in jail, that he didn't do it to himself, just kind of like this Epstein guy. But that's a whole nother live stream. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We're going to wrap up. And remember, the low stakes games are running in the club tonight. If you're not in the club, just check out the forum on Facebook and people can tell you how to get in.